Welcome. So I've been watching some of the classics and the other day I fancied watching this gem again. The advantage of having physical media of my most favourite movies is that I had it to hand, sorted. And also, spoilers ahead. So what's the plot in brief? Robocop aka Alex Murphy is back and he's on the trail of a kingpin and the producer of a destructive narcotic called Nuke, with the person called Kane being the dangerous head of a cult organisation that is flooding the streets with Nuke. OCP, the company that originally created Robocop, are now the owners of a bankrupt Detroit city and they want to rebuild it for their own financial gain at the expense of the residents. OCP are also funding a new Robocop initiative, with the head researcher believing a convict would psychologically make for a better candidate for the new Robocop rather than an actual cop. The movie comes to a head as Robocop has to deal with the very real threat posed by the new Robocop. What are the outstanding things in this movie? This was a very nostalgic watch for me. The trailer on display is a good depiction of the movie, but it does leave out a number of key characters that make the movie even more special. For me, the young mayor of Detroit City, played by Willard Earl Pugh, is a highlight in how he is doing everything in his power to save Detroit City from OCP, and he is quite funny when he has his emotional outbursts and when he's justifying his decisions. Kane's key follower is played by Galen George, who I always thought was very beautiful, and seeing her in the trailer would have made it even better. Robocop's journey in ridding himself of OCP's debilitating programming is an inspirational moment in the movie, as is his determination to capture Kane. Personally, I also liked seeing Robocop on a motorbike, showing his versatility, and it is still a standout moment both now and when I first saw it in 1990. OCP's politics are on display, and it is interesting to see how the upper personnel operate in the weeds. And Felton Perry is back from the first movie and is now the second in command, and great in his role as a charming villain in a suit navigating and being a master of the company politics. I also enjoyed the action in this movie, including the special effects with the robotic Kane. Nancy Allen as Robocop's partner returns and is also a welcome familiar face, and I always imagine her chewing and blowing bubblegum. Lastly, I thought Gabriel Damon played a good prominent role as the child mobster called Hob, who is Kane's key henchman, and Hob displays a savvy nature beyond his years. What are some of the questionable things in this movie? I think this film is somewhat more humorous in its tone than the first movie in parts, and I'm in two minds if this was a choice for the better. However, the film is still dark in tone in places. On reflection, the first movie deals with Robocop refinding his identity as Alex Murphy. The second movie deals with his spirit being under attack but then prevailing, though we don't unfortunately see a resolution related to his wife and family in this movie. So what's my verdict? It's a classic directed by the great Irving Kershner and interestingly written by the legendary Frank Miller. In my opinion, sequels do not have to be better than the original, however they should offer something new and be a good standalone movie in its own right, which this movie is. It's worth a watch every few years or so, and worth owning and keeping in your physical media library, and you should be able to pick this up at a relatively cheap price. Thanks for listening and watching.